Casey Kasem passes away and his wife is being investigated for elder abuse. Now we can all count down until she goes too.
A 450-pound man was caught hiding drugs in his stomach fat. Why didn't I think of that?
A relative of the Duck Dynasty family is running for Congress. Let that sink in for a minute.
A man kills his wife and 2 kids on Father's Day. Shouldn't have got him a fucking tie.
Yikes. And we will discuss none of this next on Unholy Matrimony.
Welcome to Unholy Matrimony. I am Jeremy Staples.
I'm Bethany Staples.
Last night, or actually it started yesterday morning when we woke up. So a friend informed us of, how do I put this? This guy, we used to be friends with.
Only on Facebook. We didn't know him.
No. He doesn't live in this state. He's a dog fucker. Just putting that out there. Truth bombs. So we were informed that he had taken to a message board where apparently he likes to argue with people. We'll just put it that way. And some of the people he was arguing with, I guess he thought was me and Bethany. But it wasn't. Now,
mind you, we don't know this board. We don't go on it. We went on this board one time before, and it was again when he thought that the people arguing with him were us. And so we kind of, we were alerted. We came to the board and we were like, hey, it's not us. Keep our names out of your mouth, basically. And that's the last time that we even went to this place. Yes. We're not involved at all.
But yes, we were linked to this particular message thread where he called us out. He posted Bethany's Twitter handle and my old one that I haven't used in like over a year.
Yeah, but he posted my current one because I was stupid and didn't block him yet.
Yeah. And after that, he proceeded to threaten to post information about our kids. Like, we don't know if this means, like, their names, pictures, where they go to school, like, whatever kind of info he's able to dig up, if that was his plan. And,
you don't mess with my kids.
No, Mother Hen came out.
In full force.
Yes.
Full force. We had been sitting there, I think that I had just downed my second cup of coffee, which doesn't sound like a lot, but, I've got some ulcer issues, and so I haven't been drinking a lot of coffee lately. So 2 cups was a huge deal, and I was already a little bit cracked out. And then find out that this starts happening, and I went full on balls to the wall, like I was gonna fuck this guy's world up.
And yes, so a few calls later, with not only our local PD, but Boise PD. This asshole lives in Idaho. He's an Idaho dog fucker. Not that everybody from Idaho fucks dogs. I mean, they might. I don't know how they be. But, once again, I'm not trying to start a war with another state. Hashtag fuck Boise. Anyway. So yes. We made some calls. We gave him all the information we could. Which
wasn't a lot, honestly. He hasn't rented space in our heads at all. So we haven't even tried to get any kind of information on him. We did a real quick Google search, and whatever we could find for free, we gave to the police, hoping that maybe it was a match. We don't know.
Yep. So, we haven't heard anything back about it yet. When we do, we'll let you guys know, because you're family.
Yeah.
But no, who fucks with kids? Like, let's just put it out there like that. Who threatens to go after kids? I mean, we're talking, one of them is 6 years old, just about ready to go into the first grade. He's just getting out of kindergarten right now. The other one's in the 7th grade.
Yeah.
Like, these aren't like upper teenagers. These aren't like almost adults. These are fucking kids.
These are children.
Yeah, 6 and 14.
And these, we don't know these people on these message boards. We went through some of the threads just to go see like what kind of shit this guy talks about. there are threads about everything. There was a thread that we found where it was a guy basically asking for help and advice because he finds his neighbor so attractive and so sexy that he can't control himself, and he feels like he needs to move to another part of the city so that he can avoid raping her. Like, these are the types of people that are all over these boards. They're anonymous boards. You don't have to put your name down when you're posting. And this is the place that he wanted to stick information about my kids, our kids, you know. I have pictures from my ex-husband that are tagged to my Facebook. You know, I would have to reach out to them and make sure that they had their shit locked down on top of mine. You know, I went through and I locked down my Facebook, but you know, that may not even stop him. I don't think that he would be above creating a fake account, you know, to try and get out information if that's what he really, really wanted to do. And we have a couple of friends that, you know, we joke about them being trolls or whatever, you know, we joke, and they're just so desensitized to anything mean that can be said about anybody else on the internet. Super desensitized. And they came out and they were like, dude, that is fucked up. You never bring somebody's kids into it. Well,
it wasn't even like just our friends. It was other people who just go to this message board. They're like, dude, what the fuck?
They're like, that's
like,
low.
Who does that?
Yeah, you never bring somebody's kids into it, ever. That you're just a huge piece of shit. And, you know, he knows about our podcast. He also posted about that, said that we have a podcast about our pathetic little lives or whatever.
No, what he said, and this is, I didn't get his comment. He said, so you guys do a podcast about your marriage, and I'm the one who's fucked up? How's that fucked up?
Yeah. Well,
we have an awesome marriage, and we want to share it with you people. Like, how is that fucked up that we are doing a podcast together?
Right. And now that he knows that said podcast is here, I want, you know, it is my sincere hope that he's at least listening to this portion of it. This portion. Because I will flat out say, for the public, you're only a border away. That's all I'm going to say. You don't mess with the mother's fucking kids. Ever. Ever, ever. You're only a border away. Keep your ass away from my kids.
Yeah. It would pay you well to heed that advice.
Yeah.
Seriously, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
Like, this guy.
I had forgotten all about him, dude.
Yeah. Let me tell you a little bit more about this guy. I mean, I'm not going to, like, give out his name here, but
no.
He used to work, he says worked in the radio business, right? Which, as far as we can decipher, means he used to fetch coffee for the big league boys, you know? He posts these things, like, on different, like, audio hosting sites that are, like, radio clips from his time working the radio, but these aren't clips of him.
No.
It's like, and there's like 30-second spots, like going into and coming out of like music breaks. Like, this isn't like.
And that's cool if he wants to have a hobby. That's fine. But this is our hobby, and I don't say. But
this is 14 years ago.
Yeah,
this isn't something current. But
true.
And to go even further with that, he has just this like misplaced, like, inflated sense of self-worth. Like, this guy, he thinks that, like, he keeps like routinely referencing his social media presence, his fucking social media presence,
because he has over 1,000 Twitter followers.
Guess what? I only have like 300 less than you do, dude, and I started my Twitter account a month and a half ago. Like, you're not fucking all that. I've deleted more Facebook friends than you have. Okay.
And none of that matters in the grand scheme of things.
It doesn't. But he likes to throw these things out. Like he's a fucking Mr. Big Shot. It's like, dude, that doesn't make you big. Like, I don't claim to be fucking anything. Like, this fucking guy.
The part of him, the part of his personality that I think bothers me the most, and it's because I'm a woman. When we were friends on Facebook, he would now this guy lives at home with his mom.
Yes.
He lives at home with mom. He's about 35 something years old. I don't know. Claims he can't get a job because of a bum knee or something. But
yeah, he was in a quad accident, and he proceeded to bitch about his leg for like 2.5, 3 years.
Something. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, he still lives at home with his mom and everything like that. He also, now, I don't go based purely on looks for anybody. I don't judge somebody based purely on their looks. I do not. That being said, he doesn't have a personality that you can kind of forgive. And this is honestly one of the ugliest dudes I've ever laid eyes on. Like, he could have been that funky looking and had a cool personality, and I still would have dug him.
You know what's funny? He describes himself as being a human Muppet.
Yeah.
And it's kind of true. He does look like a Jim Henson creation.
Yeah, but not in a good way.
No, it's not like, it's like...
Yeah, not in a good way. But so what bothered me the most about him, about his personality, is that he would talk about women being ugly. He would always go on about these women that were just hideous and they were so ugly. Be it professional wrestlers, the divas or whatever, actresses, anybody, random people. And he would point out their flaws. And so I was like, dude, first of all, don't do that, for one. You shouldn't just be doing that to just random strangers. Second, look at yourself. Knock it off. And he would, so he would go on and on and on and talk about women in general, saying that they're foul beasts, they're sluts, he was very misogynistic about women. But then about 3 hours after that, he'd be talking about how lonely he was at the bar by himself, and he wished that women would, comfort him, and he wished that he had a woman or a girlfriend in his life. And I was like, bitch, you don't have a girlfriend because of the way you talk about women. Who is going to want to date that? Honestly.
Yeah, so she mentions, females in professional wrestling. So
you're going to get into the thing that I have the biggest gripe about.
So this guy, he used to be in this Facebook wrestling group that we're in, that we have. And he, at one point, this was, about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Something like that. There's this African-American female wrestler named Karma. She's, a bigger lady.
But damn good in the ring.
Yeah, she's pretty good. Not that she got a chance to really do it, because she never actually had one match before she was fired. And the reason why is because she got pregnant and hid the fact from the company and ended up having a miscarriage. And so when the news got out about her miscarriage, this fucking asshole, he went on the attack. Like, he fucking straight up attacked her.
He shit all over her for the fact. Basically, she was a slut and she was a whore and she was a lying bitch for lying about it. And then, since she's a wrestler, she should have known her contract. She should
not have gotten pregnant because she was under a fucking contract.
Right, she was under a contract. So not only should she not have gotten pregnant, she she basically deserved her miscarriage, is the way he said it. She deserved her miscarriage, and then because after her miscarriage, she missed a couple of matches. Miscarriage? She missed a couple of matches, and he said that made her a piece of shit because she wasn't she wasn't on his TV to entertain him soon enough. This is how he looked at her. Because she was under a contract, she's a piece of shit for having a miscarriage. And because, it was soon after the miscarriage, she didn't show up for any matches. He was like, well, you're under contract and you deserve to be fired and da-da-da, and you deserve your miscarriage. I mean, this is the type of guy he is.
Yeah.
And that's why I deleted him. Yeah,
you deleted him before the whole...
Yes.
Like the big falling out.
He wasn't on my friends list when all that happened.
Yeah. So
there was a bit, but he did block me at that. I was an accessory because he blocked you. He blocked a lot of other people.
He blocked almost everybody. Yeah. Almost everybody. And so just this guy, like she said, lives at home with his mom. Hasn't worked in the radio in God knows how long, but pretends that he's still Mr. Hotshot, fucking important broadcaster. He pisses broadcast excellence. Isn't
that something he said?
I think so.
I want to say that was something he actually quoted.
If not, it was just a perfect description that was brought up by one of our friends, because this guy, he acts like he's like a celebrity.
Yeah.
He acts like he's an internet darling, like he's a fucking celebrity.
The internet darling, that's like the perfect term for how he views himself, and he's anything but. I mean, he's such an unsavory person, and I gave him a lot of chances. If anybody knows me in my personal life, I have been told that I'm too nice. There are a lot of people that may not be ideal characters, or they may have some flaws, in being who they are. and I forgive it. I love everybody. I can get along with almost everybody. I don't have, I don't take issues with a lot of people. I'm almost too nice. And he is just too much for me. And this was before he said anything about our kids. And then once he got down to that personal level, like, the fucking gloves are off. Like, I am so ready to end this. End it. So.
She's not threatening anybody.
No,
this isn't like a death threat or anything like that.
No, my dad's a cop.
Yes.
He's no, yeah. No death threats here. Jesus Christ, I can't even beat my husband. No,
damn right you can't.
No, I've got connections. I know the law. I have ways of being able to, make sure that things are done expeditiously. And that will happen because this is internet harassment at this point. And to be fair, he may have a case of internet harassment against him. I don't give a shit. I'm not involved.
Yep.
So you go deal with your own little bullies. I don't care what's going on with you. I had a perfectly fine life. We actually watched Drop Dead Fred that morning. We were having a chill, lazy day. And then this shitstorm happened. And we haven't even thought of this dude in forever.
Yeah. Anyway, the reason why I was getting around to him talking about he's his pissing broadcast excellence is that the reason how I met this guy, it was back in 2010, and there's a local rock format radio station that had a morning talk show called the BJ Shea Morning Experience. Great show. I used to listen to it every morning at work.
It is a good show.
And so in 2010, their parent company decided they were going to switch all the talk shows to a talk music format. And the morning that this was announced, this guy fucking flipped his shit. Like
on the BJ Shea show.
Well, no, he was attacking the Facebook page.
Yeah.
He was calling them out, like, for being pussies, for not, like, fighting against the company that pays them.
Yeah.
And all this shit.
Which there shows you how much, quote-unquote, experience he has in the radio business.
Yeah, he was, like, vicious about it, to the point where they had to block him. And he used to, like, be, like, he would occasionally, like, send them in, like, little sound clips or whatever they'd play on their show. He's
call in and...
Yeah, he was trying to, like, I don't know, like, reclaim this this time he had on the radio fucking like 10 years before that.
Yeah. And he was trying to network. So
yes.
The people that he was trying to network, he all of a sudden took a huge flaming shit on.
Exactly.
It was ridiculous. All because they got the orders from up above that they had to slightly change the format of their radio station.
I mean, I wasn't happy about it either. I was pissed because I'm a talk radio junkie and I hate music on the radio.
Yeah.
I was pissed about it, but like I wasn't going to fucking attack them over it. I understand how business works.
Right, and it's not like they took away the talk radio altogether.
No, there's still a lot of it there.
Some songs.
Yes, it was like every quarter hour they play like 3 or 4 songs.
Yeah, so I mean,
not even that. Like
no,
2
it's
or
like
3.
one. I thought
no, it's they have a music break,
a block.
Yes,
yeah.
A small block.
But like he escalated something to a level that never should have been that way, and these were people he was actively trying to help network with, and it was just kind of ridiculous. He burns a lot of bridges, so many in fact that he still to this day. I guess this the people that have been targeting him or whatever on these boards have been doing so for many, 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 many months. Okay, I'm not saying that's right. I'm not involved. Because of who it is, I don't care, that they do it. But it's been going on for so long, and he's still yet to figure out who it is. That's how many people he's pissed off.
Yes, it started out he was blaming a former roommate.
An ex-roommate.
Or something like that.
Yeah, like he cannot figure it out. He's brought us up. This is the second time now that I know of.
Yes.
That he's mentioned us.
Yes.
I almost am ashamed at the fact that we just spent 20 minutes on this guy.
No, because this stuff has to be said. I want him to hear this. He needs to know that he's just human excrement.
Yeah.
This.
We had a chance to go our separate ways peacefully, and
yeah, he doesn't seem to want that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So that's that. We are not in the habit of making enemies. You know, I know that it may not seem like it at times because we're going to call your ass out on here when it happens. But we are not in the habit of making enemies. We're actually very, amicable people. And we would rather, like Jeremy, he does not like to make waves. I will talk some shit, but I don't. Not in my personal life. So when it happens, just expect to hear it here first, folks.
She was talking about wrestling while crying.
When you were in high school, did you take computer lab?
Yes. I had not really computer lab as a class. I had versions of it, like keyboarding or classes that I mainly was in the computer lab.
I don't want to mention her name, but did you have a female teacher for that computer class?
I did, but she was old as fuck.
Oh, okay, so not the same one.
No, I think I know where you're going with this, and
it wasn't her.
No, it just definitely was not her.
All right. Well, when we were in 10th grade, I'm just going to call this out right now for anybody who may not know at all. I'm bisexual. And I had a boyfriend / fiance, high school sweetheart. But at the same time, I also had this girl that I wanted to be my girlfriend. And she was a lesbian. She had come out and everything. And I really, really, really wanted to get something going with her.
She wanted to scissor this chick, is what she's saying. Scissors!
That's
hot. Yeah. Hold on, listen. That's the sound of my boner hitting the table.
No, the feeling was mutual, but she didn't like, I'm not going to go into that part of it too much. I respect her enough to not go too far into it. She did not want to date a straight girl, though, so that was totally fair. We did, however, spend a lot of time hanging out together, spending the night, I mostly at her house and things like that. Well, she also had a crush on our computer lab teacher. And it was like, right at the introduction of like AOL and things like that. I know I'm totally putting my age on blast, but
yeah, did you get it as a startup disc in the back of a magazine?
Fuck off.
Yes, I did. I had so many of those.
No, it was so what we did was we secretly, I'm doing air quotes, secretly downloaded AIM, AOL Instant Messenger, on our computers. Even though she and I sat directly next to each other, she and I would IM each other throughout the entire class. And, a lot of it was talking about how pretty she was and things like that. So we hatched an idea one day. And I don't know why. I mean, nowadays, kids are more savvy to the capabilities of, what can be done and whatever. But back then, I don't even know if at the time we had a full-on computer in our home. Again, throwing my age out there. But at the time, I don't think that we had a home PC. So we weren't too savvy or familiar with what could be and could not be done on computers in a network basis. So we hatched up a plan one night. It was actually when I was spending the night at her house. We wanted to, we bought flowers for her and
for the teacher
and drove to her house and dropped them off and drove away. A little stalkerish, but it was sweet. We had good intentions.
Good intentions to fuck this older lit woman.
No,
who she would have gone to prison.
I had no intentions. I didn't. That wasn't my intention. I was just helping a pal out. But then we hatched a plan that we would basically write her an anonymous love letter, right, from computer lab. So we did, and you didn't get assigned seats every day in your computer lab. You basically walked in, and wherever was empty, you sat down. So one day we wrote the letter out. We did not send it that day. We waited a couple of days later. We both kind of had cold feet and whatever. But then finally, my friend said, "You know what? Fuck it." And she hit send and sent it to the teacher. we thought that we got away with something amazing. Like, in our heads, we're, romantically inclined 16-year-old girls. And in our heads, we're thinking she's going to read this and she's going to be super flattered. It was such a sweet, romantic, letter. And we were like, she's going to be flattered and then she's going to wonder who it is and this and that. That is not what happened at all. It backfired. And it turns out that they can tell where emails have been sent from on computers.
Shocker.
Yeah, we had no idea.
She's so red.
I know. My cheeks are bright red. So we had no idea. And I guess she got offended. And took it to the principal. They went and they looked at the, computer that it was sent from. But there was no class assignment in her classroom. So they couldn't tell who it was from. But the teacher could vaguely remember where people were sitting. So she pinpointed me. I wasn't the one sitting in that seat, but she pinpointed me. So I got questioned by the principal, and I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then they brought up the flowers, and they were like, she's under the impression that this is probably the same person. You need to come clean. If you know anything about this right now, you need to tell us. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about at all. No idea. And they're like, okay. And I mean, really, they couldn't do anything if we said we didn't know.
Yeah.
So it didn't go much further than that. But like I said in last week's episode, I was like a good girl. I did some bad shit. I just never got caught. So that was
it's only a crime if you get caught.
Exactly. And that was one of the closest times I've gotten to being caught for something like that. And I mean, it scared the shit out of me. Like I was, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. They did question her too. And she denied it, came out denying it too. Neither one of us got in trouble. But it was kind of interesting. It was definitely something we never did again. I told her, I was like, I will fucking never do that again. She was like, yeah, no, that was stupid.
Now, I know you told me this story before, but I forget which teacher it was, and I'm not going to put it on blast here on the show, but here, write it down real quick. Yeah, I didn't have her.
You didn't have her? Do you remember her?
No.
She was so cute. I mean, she's not my style, but, it was definitely my friend.
Yeah.
So red.
She is. She's fanning herself.
I know.
This is great.
Oh, so stupid.
Do you like to listen to funny fuckers being fucking funny?
I know I do.
I was gonna give you a tip, then I realized you're a fat bitch and I don't like you.
Oh, you're already stocked up. Let me stock you with something else. My dick!
I used to wait tables, and then I had these two lovely young ladies who happened to look like men. I just walked up and said, hey, how's it going, guys? And they both looked at me like,
I'm gonna fucking eat your children. I have a vag, thank you.
And I was gonna be like, don't fucking hurt my children just because you can't have any. If you don't want to fucking me to call you a dude, don't look like a dude. It's not my fault. We don't have wieners, excuse me.
Not inside us currently. Especially not inside Jessie. Look at the fucking face on her.
What? Alright, has anybody else got any what the fuck moments?
Nope.
Penny, did you bring one?
Nope.
What the fuck?
I know.
Not doing your job, bitch!
I
Fuck,
know.
why do we even invite you to these things?
I can't even think of anything where I'm like, what the fuck?
You're too nice! God, you whore!
Did you like what you heard? Make sure to listen to the Aku and Rez show
At couchpotatonation.com.
So I'm guessing this is going to be a piece of shit centric episode because I have another motherfucker I want to call out.
Oh, man.
Somebody else who I was friends with on Facebook. I am no longer after this last week. You know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so there's this guy. He likes to post all these anti-police videos
Cop Block.
articles.
The Facebook group Cop Block. They are very anti-cops. They always try and promote murdering them and things like that.
Yes, and this guy, he has that opinion that it's because this last week there was the shooting.
Yes, the 2 cops in Las Vegas.
Yes, that were shot.
Eating lunch.
Yes, unprovoked. These were just 2 crazy fucks who, thought it'd be fun to go shoot up some cops. And this guy, he promotes that sort of thing. Like, he flat out said that the only thing that was wrong about it was that they ended up shooting somebody else after the fact. That was not a police officer. Yes, exactly.
Injured. That was the only thing wrong with it, and that they died in it as well.
Yeah. Well, anybody who listens to this show knows that Bethany's dad's a cop, and my uncle was a cop. He was actually shot dead on the job. He was serving a speeding ticket, and when he walked over to the window, this piece of shit shot and killed him. I never got to meet him. If I did, I was too young, but I think it was before I was actually born. And so when I saw him post this video and he was posting his comments on how he feels about this topic, I had to comment on it, and I simply said, like, my uncle was shot for serving a speeding ticket. Did he deserve to die? And this guy's response was basically yes.
It was a long paragraph, but not only was it yes, he went on to tell Jeremy that his uncle was a corrupt police officer and was embezzling money and was using his force,
because all cops are wife beaters, apparently.
Right, and was telling Jeremy about his fucking uncle, like he knew him. And Jeremy, did you block him or just remove him?
I deleted him.
Yeah, I removed him the night before because he posted an article.
It was the same article.
Yeah, the same article. I read it. I could literally only get through about a paragraph and a half. It started, the very first sentence was, great news today, 2 cops died. The only bad news is that more cops didn't follow and that the 2 perpetrators were killed.
Yeah.
Or something to that effect.
Yeah.
It's not a direct quote, but it was basically saying that the great news was that the cops died. So, if you've listened to the podcast before, I've mentioned my dad a few times. He's an awesome police officer. He's an awesome human being. I'm sure he knew that we were getting into shenanigans like alcohol and pot, but
allegedly,
but he was just a cool guy. He's just a very nice human being. He was the type of guy that when we would make new friends at school, especially around driving age, when we would make new friends at school, my dad would always make sure to ask us what their first and last name was. Not so he can search them up on his computer system or anything. It was so that in case he ever pulled them over, he could be like, hey, I know you know my daughters. Just drive safe. And, he would always rather give somebody a second chance than, slap them with the cuffs or something like that. He does that with adults, too. He's a very forgiving soul. And my thought, it just kept running through my head, that could have been my dad having lunch in that, diner or whatever it was. And in no way has he abused his force. I have told people in the past that not only does he not abuse his force, he actively and publicly goes against police brutality. It doesn't make him the most popular person in his department either. He's very, very vocal about, his disapproval, basically, of the fact that this happens, and he acknowledges that it does. He's a very decent human being. This is not the type of person that you want to shoot, and yet because he wears a badge, and a uniform, there are some sick individuals out there, like this guy, who think that, he would deserve to die.
Well, I do know that this post has been removed. I doubt it was by him, because he doesn't give a fuck. I'm sure that somebody reported it to Facebook and they removed it, because it just did not need to be, out there, But yeah, way to ruin the mood, Bethany.
What? Oh.
This is supposed to be funny.
Oh.
Hey guys, this is Steve Demain from the Dark Main Event, and you guys are listening to Unholy Matrimony with Jeremy and Bethany Staples. It's like my favorite podcast ever. Well, enough about me. Here they are. I'm gonna go take a selfie. Bye!
Alright, that's gonna do it for this week's episode of Unholy Matrimony. Be sure to check out this show and any of the podcasts available on the CPN Podcast Network at CouchPotatoNation.com.
Make sure to follow us on Twitter at WeThePotato.
We're on YouTube. You can subscribe to us, get this and every other video that we post.
And we also have a Facebook page, so make sure to like it at facebook.com/CouchPotatoNation.
Alright, so I'm Jeremy for my co-host in life, Bethany, saying later, fuckers.
You've just listened to another fine CPN Network podcast. Thanks for listening.